Alright folks, welcome to the Hilltop Pillbox. Here we have a quick confidential video. Just going to bring up a few things here as to why the game is progressing the way it is, why I've made the choices I have made. And I know my opponents have made these videos quite a bit. This will be my first and likely only one.
But why? Why would you do that?
Because I don't know enough about the game to have some grand strategy going forward. I'm being very reactionary here. I'm being a little proactive because I can be. I never in my wildest dreams thought that I could be this proactive about things. So very quickly, right off the bat, as you know, Fortress Jinx is playing the Allies and Panzer King is playing the Axis. And typically we would have, by 1943, which is where we are right now, turn 14, there'd be monstrous battles going on here, and it's a veritable wasteland. And the big battles are happening here. We've had some in the Atlantic, and we've got Germany going here and doing all this stuff here, unopposed essentially. We got the Soviets crushing down here. We've got the Communist Chinese coming across this way. Say, what is going on? Now the Americans are finally in the war. They've only been in the war, what, 2 turns, and they've already taken over some islands, and they're convoying Japan to death over here. So what's going on? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. Very simply, early on, because Fortress Jinx has played this game so much more than Panzer King and myself, he sent Panzer King a message that's... Panzer King was talking about how he was going to take Paris, and Fortress Jinx came back with, well, that's okay, I'm going to take it back in 43.
That's pretty arrogant, considering the company you're in. Yes, sir.
It's a slam dunk, basically, right? This I'm getting it secondhand, so, but essentially there was quite a confident swagger there that I'm going to take it back. Well, it didn't quite work that way, because London is now actually under German control, so a little bit of a backfire there.
Whoops. Whoopsie.
But also then, in one of Fortress Jinx's videos, he was talking about the game and how it was progressing, and this is early on. This is like turn 4 or something. And he said, well, you never know who could win this game. I mean, who knows who's going to win? Probably the Allies. Well, if you want to get Moscow and Berlin on the phone really fast with each other, say something like that. That's exactly what happened. Before you know it, Panzer King and I are texting back and forth, and we made a grand design. We got Molotov-Ribbentrop as soon as we could, and then we have an ironclad. We are not going to fight each other in this game until we feel as though the Allies have been suppressed. And so you can see, like, Romania's why I could have walked in there, right? Like, there's nothing. He could go in at any time with his stuff too, right? But we just decided not to. We're going to play nice, which has allowed this and has allowed this, because Japan has not ever done anything against the CCP and vice versa. Why would we? Right? Why would we? There's no reason. Because we don't want the Allies to win now. It's that easy. It's that simple. There's no 2 ways about it. And so that little comment made sure that the 2 of us were going to link arms against the aggression of the Allies. And I'll tell you this, it was a well-chosen stratagem, because even though we have not had the hundreds and hundreds of IPPs spent here on the Eastern Front, and we haven't had any fighting going over here, we still don't feel comfortable that we've got Fortress Jinx put away. And we're on turn 14, for Pete's sake. And we still don't have what we want. We still don't have a peace and a, oh, okay, now we can relax. We're still freaking out.
I'm freaking out, man. You are freaking out.
I mean, good grief, right? Even us not doing all the conventional battling between the Comintern and the Axis, and we're still having trouble keeping them down. So, we both, Panzer King and I are both very new to this. This is my first game of V3. I think it's his second. And this is, I believe it's up in the teens or 20s for Fortress Jinx. And so he's definitely a stronger player. That's not even worth debate. I'm not even going to talk about it. And because of that, we had to work together to an abnormally high level in order to keep it from being an ally steamroll. Because imagine if we had been fighting here. He would be in Paris. Imagine if we had been fighting here. I wouldn't have all this crap coming down here. Okay? And if we go back and look at the videos, the Comintern has declared war on none of the major powers. Okay? But the UK, FEC, UK, declared war on the CCP, which then allowed the KMT to go and hide in Hong Kong, where they've been bottled up the whole game. Okay? The UK declared war on the Soviet Union, so they could strat bomb Norway and probably do some other stuff, but that's all they've done. They've gone after our subs a little bit, but I don't know if you remember, I moved my 4 subs out here, and Fortress Jinx came unglued and said, I don't know what he's doing with those things, he's got to put them back, and he refused to pay me $4. $4 that he was supposed to pay me, and he ordered me to put my submarines back in the Baltic or else he wouldn't pay me. Well, that is not a way to win friends and influence people, okay? So when the British Empire, was trying to order the Russian Empire, the Soviet Empire, I guess, to do his bidding with our own fleet, well, that's just not going to happen.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture.
Forget it. It's not happening. And so we just sortied our ships, or our boats, pardon me, further into the Atlantic, where they've done really nothing, and we lost one last turn to his anti-sub warfare. But we, with that sort of an attitude from the Allies, where everybody's got to do what we say if you want us to help you, and we're going to win this game, and I'm going to be taking Paris back a year earlier than the Allies did in real time. That's not going to happen now. And that's the beauty, that's where I'm wrapping this up, that's the beauty of 36. 1936 allows you to completely rewrite this history, right? Germany and the Soviet Union working together. Now that's not that far out of the realm of possibility, though, is it?
It's not possible.
No, it's necessary.
Right? The only reason this really happened was because this didn't. Right? Imagine if Germany was embroiled in a ground war in Great Britain, right? And they're having to supply those troops, and they're having to keep the Royal Navy at bay, and they're having to bring in airdrops, and they're having to keep their forward air bases from getting pummeled by the Brits, and they're fighting in enemy territory, and you've got partisan activity and all the rest. Do you think they're going to have time, money, and energy to come over here? I don't think so. And the Soviet Stalin wasn't about to antagonize Hitler, right? So that makes a lot of sense, okay, that this would actually happen. If Germany just did nothing but put its efforts here, go, 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 well, of course, they're not going to have the money and the material to go east. Okay, so it kind of makes sense, and you're allowed to do that in this game. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, it's encouraged. Rewrite history, right? Do what you need to do. This is a 3-player game, and the Comintern, the Axis, and the Allies can work as well with each other or against each other as they see fit. I think if this game were an actual 3-person game where nobody was getting along, whoever the strongest player is likely going to come out on top, right? We know that Jinx would clobber us. If we were fighting on the Eastern Front, this is the Allies' game. They're going to win it going away. There's just no, again, not even worth talking about. So we decided not to do that, so that at least we can have a fighting chance. And now we do have a fighting chance, right? Now we do. Now we're doing all right, right? But we still can't give up. We can't let him up off the mat, because as soon as we do, he's going to find some opening and just tear us to shreds. So, in case you were wondering why this isn't going historically accurately, there you go. Now you understand why.
That makes no sense.
Hopefully that helps clear up a few things. And nothing but love for Panzer King and Fortress Jinx. We're having a great time playing this game, despite some of the foibles and some of the weird choices that we've made. And hopefully people have been forgiving of our mistakes. But please now hopefully understand why I did what I did. And it probably wouldn't have happened if those couple of comments way back in the early or the mid 30s and 37, 38 hadn't been made. there's a good chance the Soviet Union would be hunkering down in the cities here and just trying to survive. But thankfully, Panzer King and I, we are both men of our word, and when we say we are going to hold the treaty until a time when we don't need to, there it is. So, thanks so much, folks. Appreciate you watching, and wish us luck as we head south.